Hello, this is Silas here, and today I have prepared for you something a little bit different from what I usually do. I wanted to try more like intuitive painting, where I will be using lots of different stencils and many colors. But first step, as always, was to just sew my page, and then I started to apply first layer of colors. But as you can see, I used way too much water with the paint, and colors are not as saturated as I want them to. You can see this especially after I used my favorite makeup brush that I am using for blending, and because I used so much water, the result looks more like watercolors. And here I'm adding another layer of paint. As you can see, I forgot to record the previous part, but you didn't miss much. I just added another layer of paint, basically what I'm doing right now, and I didn't use my blending brush this time. I decided that I actually don't mind any brush strokes because I will be adding lots of paint and layers on top of it, so I don't have to worry about them very much. And also, if there will be some brush strokes visible, they only add more texture to my background. When I am finally happy with the saturation of the colors, I took a sponge. It's actually a makeup sponge, but it works really good for acrylics, and I am dabbing with it using white paint. I am trying to create some contrast and also add texture to my background. When I am happy with the texture and saturation of the background, it's time to start playing with stencils. When I started to apply paints over my stencil, I realized that I have a little bit problem with using paints that are quite liquid and also transparent, especially some colors like orange, green or yellow. For this technique would be much better to use some heavy body paints, which would also apply it easier over the stencil. As you can see now, the result is not very good. The colors are not very visible and saturated, and it's all kind of muted. So I started to apply first white paint over the stencil, as you can see now, and on top of it I add the actual color. The result is much better now, and you can actually see the shape, in this case dots, using my homemade stencil. I also will be coming back with the first Heidi Swap stencil and reapplied first white paint and then orange color on top of it. When I was using flower stencil, again homemade, paint got under the stencil, and so I cleaned lines a little bit with the clean wet brush while the paint was still wet. Here I again didn't notice that my camera isn't recording, so you can see that I added some flowers on the bottom of the page, and now I am adding even more of them. Now I'm adding a little bit of white paint droplets on my page, and after this I will also add some white butterflies using my favorite stencil and white modeling paste. As always, list of all supplies you can find in the description under the video or in my blog. Because I have used some stencils that I have made by myself and 1 or 2 stencils that I have bought in a local store in my town and has no brand, I will look online and try my best to find some similar product if you want to recreate my page. Now I am using my brush and adding even more paint on some of those elements, so the colors are even more saturated. I think that you can see this more on close-up shoots and photos in the end of the video, so don't forget to check them out. Now when I edit the extra paint, this layout is finished. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please give me thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more videos coming. I would also love to hear your comments and opinions. Have a nice day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!